That's right. Both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders will be here right after the break.
I'm very excited.
Oh, this is going to be good. We'll be right back with more Comedy Bang Bang. Comedy Bang Bang, we're back here with Gilbert Gottfried, the legend. And speaking of legends, I mean, this must be a thrill for you to be reunited with this man, Gilbert. You were on the cast of Celebrity Apprentice.
He fired me.
Another one of your great firings.
Yeah, just when he said, Gilbert, you're fired, I thought, heard that one before.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that'll happen in the future with the Aflac duck, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
We have, of course, they are out there working on their campaigns as of now, and who knows how long they'll be out there. Maybe they'll both be the presidential nominees of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. But we have Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. Hello, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. Really appreciate it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's so nice. I've never met either. Well, Bernie, you've been on the show before.
Sure, I've been on. About 6 months ago, I think I was on the program.
6 months ago, yeah.
And I haven't been here, but it's great to be home with you, Gilbert. I really appreciate seeing you again. You really disappointed me once again on that team building challenge. And I'm very sorry. I'll say it again. You're fired, and you will not come back ever to whatever I do. In fact, I probably will hunt you down and execute you with a drone if I become president.
You know, Gilbert, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm in some ways the opposite of Donald here. So I know when you were fired, I saw it and I heard about it, and I've been sending you a small check ever since.
You've been sending Gilbert some of your money.
Just a little, sure. Just a little bit I had laying around. I don't like money. It's bad.
Yeah.
So sure, just a little annuity. I just sent you a little bit here or there.
Do you do that a lot, Bernie? Do you, like, when you hear people are out there and they're down on their luck, you just send them part of your money?
Well, sure. You remember the program with the old millionaire who sits in the chair and he gives money away?
Sure.
Imagine a lot less money.
Are we talking
$1.25 here or there to deserving people around the country?
Now, is it uncomfortable for you, a Jew, to be giving money?
Look, I'm not religious. I haven't been in a long time. I'm primarily a socialist, and what I believe in is personally being as unsuccessful as possible.
He does break out in hives, though, when he does cut the checks. You can see it.
Really?
His body rejects it, unfortunately.
So it's just the struggle between your actual heritage and your beliefs. Well,
that's right.
Gosh, Mr. Trump, I mean, you haven't been on the show before. We've never met before. But
never. It's a real, I mean, I got to tell you first off, Scott, what you did. You know, you took a failing comedy death ray that went bankrupt, and sure. I know this, and and I shared this experience. It went bankrupt, and you had to make a massive loan, $1 billion loan,
sure,
because of course you had to make it public. And what you've done, Scott, has been unbelievable.
Thank you so much.
It around. There's gold panels in this room.
Well,
it's absolutely beautiful.
They're yellow painted soundproof cushions, but yeah,
I don't hear that part.
Don't downplay it.
Sure, okay. Yeah, they're gold.
Yeah, you need to say you want to be a winner, Scott, then they're gold panels. I mean, there's a beautiful 18-year-old girl sitting here with sushi on her.
Yeah.
And anyone can eat.
That's one thing that I request for my show, yeah. So
I have 4, but usually I use my daughter mostly.
You use Ivanka to eat sushi off of?
Well, I eat Ivanka out, and then I have the sushi.
Oh my gosh.
I've already said this. I would marry my daughter if she wasn't my daughter, and now I don't even care.
I do similar stuff, but it's always with my wife, and only with oatmeal, and I let her do the same thing to me.
Wait, your wife eats oatmeal off of yours?
Me, yes.
Oh, gosh.
Well, look, that's the beauty of married love.
I guess so. So, guys, I mean, it's interesting because one would think that you guys would be diametrically opposed.
You would think it would be like apple cider vinegar and white distilled vinegar.
But that's very good for you in the morning and helps alkynate your blood.
Right, interesting. But you guys are going on tour together,
That's right. Look, you wouldn't think opposites like this could get along, but sometimes, I think it's an exchange of ideas, in my view.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity. We're both from New York, and ultimately, that's the sensibility that we share. He sleeps on the sofa bed in the suite. I get the king, and his wife, we put her in the toilet or in the tub. Either way, sometimes she likes to sleep sitting up, Elvis style. And, I mean, She has, there's one vein that runs from the back.
I don't appreciate you talking about my wife.
I'm very sorry, but she's the only person we have to look at because my wife, unfortunately, can't travel out of New York because of
ankle bracelet or something?
Prostitutes can't cross state lines when doing sex work.
Oh, I see.
You mean you're matrimonially wed to someone who you're paying?
You got to make money. I pay her, and then she makes money back. So it's double down every time.
Okay, interesting.
Look, it's been a wild time so far setting up the tour.
Yeah, so where are you guys going? You're traveling around the country, and what do you do in this tour?
Funny enough, we travel on a train, a train with an old cafe car.
Yep. It's my own private train, and it doesn't have tracks.
What?
Yeah, it doesn't have tracks. It's a private train. It's just bare metal wheels against pavement. It's awful. It's a horrifying screeching sound. You'd think it is the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse when we roll into Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow.
There's not enough rail infrastructure in this country, but we really wanted to do the thing where you get in the back of the train and give a speech.
Sure. So you just go wherever you want to go, and no one can do anything to you because you're Donald Trump.
I will kill them. I'll shoot them. I always say,
I don't support that.
If I was in the motorcade
Sure.
in 1963, Lee Harvey would have two in his head. There's no way. There's no way. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to point guns at me.
You would have been one of those good guys with a gun that we hear about.
I am a good guy with a gun, and I'll go shoot someone on Sunset, come back in here, and I'll be even more popular.
Wow.
This is an issue where I have a slight difference of opinion with Mr. Trump.
It's very slight.
Well, look, I think I have a polite disagreement on the policy. I don't believe in shooting anybody on Sunset Boulevard or in a 4-mile radius around Central Hollywood.
Sure, but as you're from Vermont.
Vermont, a rural state, you're getting into the issues.
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Look, I think I'm in a unique place to have a national consensus on gun control. And I think I can achieve it by waving my arms in a delicate manner.
You're doing that right now, almost like you're a maestro conducting an orchestra.
Sure, conducting the country in such a way that I could be like, put that one down, maybe keep that one if you're just going hunting or something, and I think you can come to a consensus.
You're going to do this personally?
Yep, I'm going to conduct the country into solving the gun control problem.
Wow. I personally believe I agree with Bernie in a way. I really believe everybody should have a gun, as Bernie's just said. And I think that what people should do... I did not say that. I have a D- rating from the NRA. I understand that, but I think everyone should walk...
Still, that's D- is still not an F.
Well,
that's passing.
It's not a bad grade. That means you did some of the homework and you didn't turn in the final paper.
That was Donald Trump Jr.'s average for his entire education.
Really?
I want every citizen to walk with a gun pointed out constantly, as if they're a cop. Just everyone walking, facing each other, pointing them at each other all the time. Everyone will feel so safe.
I have a hard time seeing how Donald Trump's worldview is any different from the old Contra video game.
It isn't.
Where you're just running around shooting fireballs at monsters all the time.
It's one of my favorite games. And those monsters are immigrants, and I shoot fireballs at them constantly. My father also gave me a box of nails and wood to play with, but what I would do is crucify people who we had to evict from his apartments in Brooklyn. I would crucify them, put them up in front of the building, so that other people
As a warning.
As a warning, just like Count Dracula.
And I grew up, look, Donald Trump's from Queens, I'm from Brooklyn. We're calling this the G-Train election.
Right, the G-Train. Because do you think you're both going to be the nominees?
Yeah, so then why do you think we would do this? We're the most likely nominees in either party.
We're ultimately most likely, and we're winning every day. And I don't see this train stopping, even if we grind into the pavement. It doesn't matter. And my personal belief is I want to get rid of the president-elect. Period. I want to just get elected and immediately go in there.
And just step right in. So the balloons drop and then you're just like, out of here, Barry.
That's exactly right. I'll be like, I'm sorry, who's this black guy robbing this Oval Office?
Wow.
And I don't think that's fair. From a policy point of view.
From a policy, but...
I don't think that's fair. Aside, from the racially charged language, I think you need a little, a 2-month period to have a changeover in the White House.
Right. I mean, a guy needs to gather his stuff, put it in boxes.
And you need 2.5 months to gather your stuff in boxes and then do some backdoor last-minute political deals.
And pardon some people.
Sure.
I like those pardons that happen like right before the person leaves. It's just like, I don't care. Anyone who's murdered anyone, who cares?
Look, I'm not going to wait till the end. When I'm elected, the first day in office, I'm going to pardon everybody.
To everybody.
Sure.
No one will be in jail anymore.
Nope. Look, everybody's going to be set free. Everybody running around. A general pardon for everybody.
What about the making a murderer guy?
All right, I got an exception.
Oh, really? He's going to stay? Just him?
Anybody who says, what about this guy? That one person until,
okay.
But, if there's nobody objects, they're pardoned.
Exact opposite. Everybody is going to be jailed except for Stephen Avery and Bill Cosby.
Those two will be out.
They're going to be out, and we're going to put them on a really great sort of Smokey and the Bandit road trip. And the first one, I don't want any of that 2 or 3.
Sure.
Especially 3 when the trucker's driving. I don't even understand why they made that movie.
I have a problem with those irresponsible cinema pictures. I think they glorify driving too fast on the highway.
You don't like movies in general?
No, I don't have a problem with movies. I'm a big fan of Netflix documentaries.
Okay.
The future of food.
Okay.
The smartest guys in the room, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Smokey and or the Bandit are a good role model for young drivers.
Okay, yeah. Gilbert, where do you lean towards on the political spectrum?
That last Smokey and the Bandit.
Ah, yes.
Or was that Cannonball Run that had Jerry Reed?
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run had Jerry Reed.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think the second Cannonball Run with Frank Sinatra, who's he shot it on a totally different day.
There are these scenes where you'll see the back of the head, and the back of the head even doesn't look like Sinatra. And then there are these scenes, too, where Burt Reynolds is in a car, and he yells out the window, "Hey, Frank!" And you see, like, a totally separate shot, like filmed a year ago in another country, with Frank Sinatra going, "Hey, yeah."
What if the Rat Pack was replaced by 3 other assholes?
That sounds a lot like me, Donald, and I'm moderator.
That's exactly right.
It depends. It would have to be more assholes, because you're only considering Frank, Dean, and Sammy.
You got Peter,
and Joey.
Oh, of course, yes. We're talking Joey from Blossom.
Joey Lawrence
from Blossom.
Joey Lawrence. Yeah.
Joey Lawrence from Blossom.
I think one of the most iconic performances of the early 90s.
Whoa.
Wait, so you're a fan?
I'm a huge fan of Blossom. I think, Blossom's friend Six was so attractive. I love the relationship between the father and the daughter on Blossom.
Okay, yeah.
It was very intimate, and I think that they did a lot of duets and piano, and I'm sure there was a lot of fun upstairs in the bedroom afterwards.
I didn't watch much of the program, but I did read about it a lot in Disney Adventures at the time.
Oh, okay, great.
I would say my favorite scene from Facts of Life, though, which was a great show, was when Tootie wanted to play Eleanor Roosevelt, but she couldn't because, of course, she was black. And I would support that. I would actually put that in the Constitution, that script.
Hey, can I say...
And I disagree.
My favorite part of Different Strokes.
Yes. Was it when the Maytag repairman came by?
No, that was a great one. Don't get me wrong. That was terrific. But there was one where,
the maid Pearl had seizures?
No. What's his name again? Not Gary.
Not Gary Coleman, but Todd Bridges.
Todd Bridges' character is going out with this bad white kid. Yeah, because he's bad, so they couldn't.
The bad influence.
Yeah. So
leather jacket, switchblade, etc.
And they would go out drinking together, and then they get into a car accident, and they're in the hospital. And, Todd Bridges just has the tiny Band-Aid on the forehead that actors get when they're...
Right. He didn't want to sit through makeup of getting a scar.
Yeah, so he's got the little thing there.
Yeah.
And then the doctor comes out because he says, how's my friend Bobby? And he goes, Bobby didn't make it. and Todd Bridges... at the ultimate of his acting, starts crying. And he says to Mr. What's his name?
Drummond.
Mr. Drummond, a good family friend.
Based on me.
He says to Mr. Drummond, he says, he's crying, and he goes, look at me. I'm crying like a little boy. And he goes, no, son, you're crying like a man.
Oh.
And the titles came up with no music.
No music.
Yes,
oh,
that
wow.
was when you knew you saw something
Powerful.
Very serious. I would have had them both executed on the spot.
And there was the one with Robicio, whatever his name was.
Robicio Giovanni.
Something like that. On Fresh Prince.
Oh, yes, of course.
The dancing.
The dancing fellow.
The black guy with no rhythm was
right. Yes.
Look, Gilbert, I'm familiar with the episode with the hospital and the injury. And
what do you think about that, Bernie?
I think it's unfortunate that a young man who merely wants to get in a little bit of trouble drinking beer cans has to die in the hospital simply because he can't afford health care. I think when you're in a first world country, one of the most advanced in the world, to have a young punk who has half of a shaved head and like one little earring and goes, hey, mister, I want your money, for him to die in the hospital because nobody would pay for it, I think is bad.
Yeah.
And what do you... Mr. Trump, would you adopt Todd Bridges and fuck him?
Yeah, you say it was based on you.
Yes, first off, it was based on me. It was originally Mr. Drummond, and then they had to change it more for legal reasons. I am a man of means. I used to adopt...
And you were born.
Oh, I was born, for sure. And although some people, I would want to tell you this, though, I am really sort of a manifestation of an Orange Julius stand.
Right.
The spirit of an old Orange Julius entered my body and has never left. Now,
I'm a little bit like a stale pina colada that's been sitting out for a while.
That's right. We were both deck drinks. Now, I adopt 2 black boys every year, but by the end of the year, they're pushed down the garbage chute in Trump Tower.
Wow.
Is there like a Star Wars garbage chute where people are conspiring to come back against you?
They could get out. There is closing walls. They have an opportunity.
And there's a monster underneath the swampy liquid.
A very thin monster under a very thin layer of water.
This reminds me, absolutely true. When Dana Plato,
from Different Strokes, of course,
she hit rock bottom right away, and so to support her drug habit, she was going to hold up a video store.
Yes, that's right.
And the guy called the police and said, I was just robbed by the girl from Different Strokes.
When you're famous, you can't be committing...
You can't commit a crime.
Those kind of crimes.
That's what Bill Cosby found out.
Yeah. I mean, other than the famous person in front of us who, may have committed several crimes.
I one time actually was snorting a big pile of cocaine and it turned out to be Ted Knight. And I pulled him out of my nose from too close for comfort.
Wow.
Yeah. So
was Jim J. Bullock involved as well? Or?
Jim J. Bullock was in the attic, of course.
Oh, of course.
Of course he was. Monroe.
Jim J. Bullock actually vacuums my offices at the Senate for free. And the vacuum always gets away from him.
Oh, okay.
Jim J. Bullock will have a place in either administration. I'll say that right now. Okay? And Shadow Stevens if he wants it.
Sure.
Because we're going to do a Hollywood Squares style Supreme Court. So we'll have the center square is the Chief Justice, and then, of course, we'll have people present their cases.
We want high daytime ratings for the Supreme Court decisions.
For sure.
Mr. Trump, if you're elected, what will the cabinet positions be? How will they be feel? I mean, we had Sarah Palin join you on a stop the other day.
Sarah's really great, and what she did was so wonderful endorsing me. And she also distracted me, with her vest. It was a really great emotional, for me, a great experience because I like shiny things. What I would do is I would probably take half of the staff of Vanderpump Rules and immediately put them in the cabinet.
Sure.
And then I would take Omarosa and Bethany and both have them be the secretaries of Exterior and Interior.
Okay.
But what's more important is I would go right to the National Archive and I would take both those documents, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. I would take a huge Sharpie and I would just write no more over it.
No more?
No more.
Really?
As a statement to myself. I would then put them back, and I would write a new constitution.
Really? So what are some of the things?
I don't see how that's different from the Joker in 1989's Batman.
Why so serious?
Would you play Party Man while you did this, or would you?
I would play Party Man, and I would yell, "Are you going to dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?" Now
we got a live one here.
I want to make it clear: I'm not the Batman to his Joker. At most, I'm the reporter with the baseball bat.
Oh, okay. You're Billy D. Williams.
Right. I'm going to be like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that."
Right.
I think what I would do is repeal the 14th Amendment. That's the most important
Which
thing.
one is the 14th? I don't have them memorized.
It guarantees citizenship to people born in the United States.
Oh.
You know, there are a lot of young Latina women who are, it's like a football game, and they're pushing their pusses right over the border and just popping out that football into the United States. They are crossing the line just to get that baby in there, and it's got to stop.
If I might.
Sure, please, go ahead. Bernie, no one's stopping you.
I believe I have a chance to respond.
Yeah, no one is standing in your way.
I believe if I might.
No, you can.
I think that's classically racist.
Well, I'm a classic guy. All right, I do classic racism, okay? I ignore waiters who are different colors than me. I say things like, "Oh, hey, brother," if I meet a black guy. I immediately change how I talk.
You know, I want to point out, if I could, I refuse to sit down and be waited upon in any restaurant.
Really? You get there behind the kitchen? And
I might say, I want this, but I'll go ahead and fix it. And I go back in the kitchen, I make it myself. I go and eat. When I'm done, I take it back, I bust it myself, I clean it up.
And then you take whatever is out of your wallet and you distribute it evenly.
Sure, because that's just a thank you for letting me use your table and all that.
Sure.
I run in and throw myself into a table, knock it over, lie down, and yell, "Feed now." And then I have people just bring food, throw it onto me, and then I rob the place on the way out.
If I may interject.
Oh, please, Gilbert, yes.
There was an episode of Family Matters.
Sure.
Where Urkel finds out about gang violence.
Oh, really? He didn't know about it before then.
He was a big nerd.
You know, actually, Urkel Jaleel White is somebody that I'm talking to as an advisor on gang issues.
Really?
Yeah, for my administration. Sure.
He learned so much about them from this episode that now he's advising.
Also ended without music.
Oh, good.
As did the Fresh Prince, where the nephew finds out about racism.
Oh, yeah.
He's in his mid-40s, and this is first
I think that your Apprentice episode, when you got fired, ended without music, too.
Yes,
It's such a tragedy.
Yes, it was
That's right. It was very, very sad. I had high hopes for Gilbert. I really did.
Who were you up against, Gilbert?
I was up against... Oh, I was there with Geraldo Rivera.
That's right.
Lorenzo Lamas.
Sure.
The llama.
I'll never pronounce this name right. Ian Ziering.
Ian
Ziering, yeah.
And then the girls were...
unimportant. Who cares about their names?
Oh, one was a Cosby kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keisha Knight Pulliam, maybe?
Maybe.
Yes, maybe. Keisha Knight pulled pork. She was great.
If I might interject.
No one's stopping you. Please, just go ahead.
I believe I have a time for approximately 30 seconds.
Please.
I don't know if America knows this, but I had a failed pilot that was along the lines of The Apprentice.
You did?
My own, but it was a socialist in orientation. It was not capitalist.
Donald Trump would fire people. What would you do?
It was called the faculty facilitator, and I would bring the contestants in one by one and have office hours and just talk to them like I'm the professor advisor.
Really?
Yep.
And it was not popular?
Well, no. It was always the door would be open, and the camera would come in and push the door open. It would have been cracked, and I was just there grading papers with cats roaming around, and I'd go, "How's it going? Are your classes going okay?"
And was it celebrities who would come in, or
academic celebrities?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see
Cornell West.
Okay.
May I just say...
Stephen Jay Gould, the great evolutionist. I've watched the pilot.
I sat down with Frank Rich.
Very boring. Originally, The Apprentice was way different. I've told you this, Gilbert, when we were on breaks. I wanted to have someone get shot execution style if they were fired, and then people who were runners-up hung like Mussolini upside down and be gutted. But also, I wanted the women. The women could never actually run a business.
Sure.
It was just whether they spent a night in bed with me.
Wow.
And it was, but my daughter always comes first. In more ways than one. And I want to really stress how much sex I have with my daughter. I want to stress
we get it. We understand.
I just want to do.
Yeah. Gilbert, you were going to say something?
Yes, I want to say what an honor it is working with Seth Rogen.
Oh, look, Look, I've heard that we have a vocal similarity.
Yes, with Seth Rogen and Jason Miller.
Look, Gilbert, you mentioned you're from Brooklyn as well.
Yeah, 2 Brooklyn boys here.
That's fantastic. I might have been there a little bit before you. People don't know this, but I grew up in the radio days, the Woody Allen movie.
Wait, you grew up in that movie?
My childhood was in radio days, and I actually I pulled myself, I walked out of the movie.
Really?
Yes, which is awesome.
Like the Purple Rose of Cairo
like the
style?
Purple Rose of Cairo.
So that's where he got that idea?
Woody Allen has stolen several major biographical magical things from my life.
Wow.
I grew up inside of radio days, right there in Coney Island. I heard that you said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you ever go to the Cyclone?
Yeah.
Do you know that Mia Farrow...
No, the answer is no.
Mia Farrow...
I'll take my answer off the air.
In the middle of all those trials, said that Woody Allen's son was actually Frank Sinatra's son.
Yeah, that's Ronan. Ronan?
Ronan Farrow, the
what
Ronan.
Was I always Marine...
One.
The one who's Mia Farrow's mother, Jane and the Tarzan.
Oh, Mansfield? No. Who am I thinking?
Jane. She had her head chopped off.
Yeah, I can't remember who Mia Farrow's.
Oh, God.
Isadora Duncan.
I think Maureen O'Hara, somebody like
Maureen O'Hara.
But here's a great Hollywood rumor.
Okay.
I heard. And I'm going to say it's true.
Okay.
It's either Maureen...
Hollywood Facts.
Yeah, Maureen O'Hara.
We should play that song.
Could someone look up if it's Maureen O'Hara or Maureen O'Sullivan?
I'm going to look that up.
Maureen O'Hara just passed away. Very sad.
Very sad. I'm looking it up here. Okay, continue with the story.
Yeah, well, it's better if you could tell...
what the name is? Here we go. All right, here we go. Mia Farrow. Can I get a look it up, Scotty? Look
Farrow's
it up.
mother, yeah.
Okay. Mia Farrow mother. We are coming up as Maureen O'Sullivan.
Maureen O'Sullivan. Okay.
Gorgeous one.
So the rumor is, and, never been proven, blah, 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 allegedly. The rumor is that when Mia Farrow was going to marry Frank Sinatra, the reason Maureen O'Sullivan was so upset is because she had been fucking Frank Sinatra years ago.
Really?
And Mia Farrow is his daughter.
And is his actual daughter?
Yes, that's how the story goes.
Wow, that's amazing.
I love it.
And that was a little bit of Hollywood Facts.
Yes.
Nice.
This is our Hollywood Facts theme
Well,
song.
it's Hollywood Facts, and we're going downtown. Going to Inglewood now. Everybody do your facts and know your stars. There's glitz and glamour and lots of bars. Get a drink at a club, then go walk in front of Chinese theater. Hollywood Facts. Take out your dick.
Check out the facts. It's the Hollywood Facts.
Bro.
Mr. Trump, how do you feel about the Schwarzer singing that song?
Well, first off, anytime someone mentions a Schwarzer,
your ears prick up.
My ears prick up, and my prick sticks up too. And I'll say this because everyone knows racists only hate other people because they want to have sex with them. And I mean, it's true. It was true for Hitler.
That's why I don't hate anyone, because I'm good not having sex with most people.
Yeah,
very true. I'm very, very, very sexual. I just wanted to tell you, I actually have a white cabbie in a private zoo in New York.
Really?
Yes, I have the last white cabbie with a cigar, and we keep him in a zoo.
Is he jerking off as well?
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Well, he has a pump. It's like a tube, and then
sure.
I use that to make protein blocks that I eat all day.
Interesting. Wow, guys.
I used to actually go to the zoo and maybe hang out there, smoke a cigar. Back when I was young, to cut down on costs.
Wait a minute. Maybe Dick Van Dyke was looking at you?
I'm not going to say it's a one-to-one connection. It's possible. I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of us.
Was there a time where you spent like 4 years in a plexiglass box? Do you remember this?
Look, yeah, but I could come and go as I wanted.
That was my zoo.
Really?
I think I kept you in my zoo, Bernie, because I remember you're very loud.
I just remember there was a nice, affordable place where I got to do work done and there wasn't too much noise.
Well, you were so agreeable. I mean, most people, you have to put a bag on their head or shoot them with a tranq dart. You came willingly because you said, oh, it's a place to stay.
On your own volition.
Sure.
Now, Mr.
nice
Trump and Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Gottfried. Senator Gottfried, I yield my time.
Are you familiar with the Good Times episode?
Florida, of course.
I'm hoping we get into the urgent issues like old sitcoms all on the way to.
I think it's a very urgent issue what Florida did. And what about when that girl got burned with that iron? Terrible. Really terrible. Really awful.
The episode where John Amos has a heart attack and dies. And Florence is holding up very well and being really strong until she's washing a bowl.
Oh,
and
yes.
she either drops it or throws it to the ground and goes, damn, damn, damn.
Yeah, powerful.
That's right, because she knew that he had not renegotiated for that season because he felt that JJ's character was a minstrelization of black culture. And she went, damn, 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 I'm still stuck on this show. That was just the actor. I knew her before she died in Driving Miss Daisy.
She didn't know the cameras were rolling.
She really died. You know that. In Driving Miss Daisy, she actually did die.
Really? During
Yeah.
the filming?
She died when she drops those peas. That was for real.
Oh, my God.
I was on set because I was Jessica Tandy's handler for a number of years.
Mr. Trump, if you become president, are you going to divorce your current wife? Sorry, when?
We will have the first White House divorce. That's something I'm going to promise. There's been White House marriages with Dick Nixon. It was really wonderful.
Right.
We're going to have a tremendous divorce. It's going to be a huge affair, and then immediately I'm going to marry my daughter.
Because you're going to rewrite the rules on this.
I'm rewriting incest law immediately, but only for people who make over $150 million a year.
Okay, wow. Amazing.
Look, when I'm president, I'm going to have a recommitment ceremony with my
that's
wife.
beautiful.
And I think her name is Jane.
You haven't seen her in a while. You've been out
We're
on the road.
a lot, and I'm a little bit older, so it's hard to remember some things. But we'll have a little recommitment ceremony. I'll get like a nice little ring, but it's not going to be an expensive anything like that. It'll be, like just an aluminum ring or something.
Guys, I want to give you one last chance to.
That's my major platform.
If I may, Mr. Trump and Mr. Sanders.
Senator Gottfried, yes.
Do you remember the important episode of The Munsters?
Yeah, which one?
Where Marilyn had an abortion.
Look, I think it was very important for her to be able to do that.
It was on set. First off, it was on set. It wasn't part of the show. I think we're confusing. That was the episode where Eddie got a bank account and she had an abortion in between takes.
I am
remember.
100% pro-choice, and I think that transcends the bonds of normal human species. I think if you're a
even monsters,
a mutated monster, I think that if you're female, you have, whatever creature you are, you have the control of your own body.
Right. I think every monster's life matters, and I want to end all Planned Parenthoods and start Planned Womanhood, which is going to be a new form of government protection. We're going to send women in and they get a lobotomy, and until they have a baby, they hold that part of the brain in escrow, and then they get it back once they have the child. I think it's great. It would make them more docile and more willing to listen.
Interesting.
And when Grandpa was performing the abortion on Marilyn,
oh my gosh,
Fred Gwynn was there going, darn, darn, darn.
Darn, because they couldn't say damn yet on TV. Yeah.
I feel like we're playing with action figures.
Well, guys, when I say guys, I mean Mr. Trump and Mr. Sanders. I want to get. We're running out of time. Senator Sanders, sorry, we're running out of time. You're just Trump, no Mister.
Call me Bernie.
Call me Trump, just Trump.
Okay,
Trump.
Bernie and Trump.
Sure, Donald. How you doing?
Very good.
We're running out of time. I want to give you each just 60 seconds to make your plea to the American people before we have to go to plugs and get out of here.
Do you mind? This is a great country. It's one of the best in the world, but we're losing. And we're losing all the time. And we're losing big. And it's really a shame. When I think about China and how China is so much better than what we're doing. And I have the same policy on women and China, which is China is our enemy. And I believe, first off, that we're going to lose and win at the same time. But when I'm president, we're going to be winning. You're going to be so sick of winning. We're going to have to create a new healthcare plan just for people who are sick of winning. And this sickness, this winning sickness, is going to be terrible. You're going to get thin. You're going to get blotches on your skin. You're going to be you'll have no immune system. This type of winning is going to be very, very infectious. It will kill off a lot of people. And the last thing I want to promise, and what you'll get if I'm president, is radical Muslims are very, very unfocused. And that's the big problem with radical Islam. I promise to build places where they can focus in the United States called concentration camps.
Okay.
So that they can concentrate and learn how to focus.
And that happens to be about 60 seconds.
And that's it. Thank you.
All right. Senator Sanders, Bernie.
Look, this is an issue that Mr. Trump and I have some disagreement on.
Sure.
I respectfully disagree. I think that America doesn't need to look at everything like a competition, like the rich versus the poor. I don't think we need to say, am I winning in this moment or losing in this moment, like Donald Trump does in every moment that he's alive. I think we should look at the world more like a jigsaw puzzle. That the whole family's going to sit around and help each other and cooperate to help make the jigsaw puzzle about 90% before you give up on it and start fighting with each other after I'm out of office. Specifically, I believe in a woman's right to choose whatever she wants, not just an abortion, anything. Women should be in charge, and men should only get to do things if they have the written consent of a woman, like a little, what do you call it, a field trip card.
Like a release.
A release form, yes.
Sure.
I believe, and this is my belief, and this is just me, I believe that young college students should not only be able to smoke legalized marijuana, wherever it is.
Yes.
I think anyone who is a senior in college, any 4-year institution, should get psilocybin mushrooms. Not the head. I think the stem should be free and subsidized by the federal government.
Wow.
I also believe anyone under the age of 25 experimenting sexually outside the normal orientation should have a grant from the federal government.
Okay, I don't know about that. What kind of experiments? Like with animals or with
sexual? No. So look, consenting adults. If you're experimenting with a consenting adult, I think the government has an interest in it, and
it should give you some money for that.
Like scientific research, but sexual research. I believe that the LGBT community should have those letters moved to the front of the alphabet.
So it would go LGBT, A, C, D, E. Okay, I don't know.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know.
I really do. I have no problem with gay people.
We agree all the time.
You have no problem with gay people?
I love every form of it. I say 4 men running a train. Great. 2 guys, 1 girl. You want trans? I love trans. I love Trans Ams. I love Trans-America Airlines.
You like Transformers?
I love Transformers. I love the Trans-Pacific Partnership. So
no, I don't like the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I'm a huge fan of all of it, and Caitlyn Jenner's in charge of every bit of it. Now, I just want to say, you have to size out your butthole. I don't know if you
What's
know
that? What are you saying?
Yeah,
I did that back when the Japanese surrendered at the end of World War II.
That's right.
I don't know what this means. Size out your butthole?
I'm supporting homosexual acts in every way. Sizing out for fisting. You want 6 people? You want to be 2 women going to Vermont to pick up wood? That's your business. You want to listen to the Indigo Girls while getting an elbow in your asshole? It's your business.
Mr. Trump, people who listen to Indigo Girls and get their elbows in the buttholes are a major voting bloc in my state of Vermont.
Well, we'll see who wins in Vermont then, because I've been to Plato's Retreat in New York. I've done everything. One time I had a 3-way with Linda Gray and Larry Hagman, and it was unbelievable.
Wow.
And the woman who played Miss Ellie was just watching, flicking her bean in the corner.
Okay.
Look, I sat in with some recording sessions with Fleetwood Mac, and let me tell you, I got to know him a little bit.
Okay, all right, guys. It's not a competition. Well, I mean, I guess it is a competition, but
it's literally a competition.
Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry. We're running out of time. We do have only.
We are running out of time for justice for American workers.
I'm sorry. Yes, but we just have time for one feature on the show. That's something called plugs.
Hello and welcome to what I like to call It's the Plug Theme. Little boy learning about love. Baby, don't make me sad. Now this one is out there for all the ladies. It's the Plug Theme. Oh baby, a little baby boy looking for love. It's the Plug Theme. Say anything.
All right. Ooh, boy. That was It's the Plugs Theme by Axel Landén. I believe it's Landen because there's a little mark above the E at the end. Interesting. Thank you so much. If you have a plugs theme, go ahead and submit it at earwolf.com under the Comedy Bang Bang message boards under the appropriate thread. And what are we plugging? Gilbert. Obviously, we have the Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. You can subscribe and rate it on iTunes. You can get it at gilbertpodcast.com. It comes out every Monday and every Thursday.
Yeah, and my website's gilbertgottfried.com. Twitter is at Real Gilbert. And I don't know when the documentary's coming out.
The documentary? We haven't talked about this.
Life Animated. That one.
Life Animated. What is that?
Yeah, that's the one about the autistic.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were turning that into a documentary. I just saw the piece on the Comedy Central thing.
And before we go, there's the woman who played the mother on the pre-Parkinson's Michael J. Fox show.
Okay.
Is she a lesbian?
Do you mean Betsy Brandt from Breaking Bad?
No.
Oh, okay.
What?
Family Ties.
Meredith
Baxter Burney.
Yeah, is she a lesbian?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Big ups to people of all different stars and stripes.
Absolutely.
I think that by law, everyone should have the right to have a hyphenated last name.
Okay.
That's where we can agree.
All right, and Trump and Bernie.
Look,
what are you plugging?
We're not agreeing on much except 12 to 15 tour dates.
You guys are doing a tour together.
Sure.
And
we don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get along just enough to pull it off.
It's going to be a winning tour. It's going to be great. We're hitting every city that matters in the United States.
Well, when does this come out?
This week.
It'll come out this week?
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to win the Iowa caucuses.
Okay.
And I'm going to win Iowa as well, and I'm going to ground Ted Cruz into Canadian powder, and then I'm going to snort him.
Look, we're not going to be performing there. I should clarify.
So this is we're recording this right before the Iowa caucuses, so we'll know the results.
Sure.
By this
So
point,
thank you for caucusing for me. That was very nice of you.
Right.
I don't know how it works.
You got to get out. You got to get out. I know it's cold, but you got to get out there.
How do people get info on this tour?
We'll go to TrumpVersusBernie.com. We're going to be in
TrumpVersusBernie.com. Is that VS Bernie or is it VER?
It's not Trump v. Bernie. That would be like a Supreme Court decision.
Dawn of Justice.
We are suing each other
Okay.
about the tour, the terms of the tour.
He wants to make sure it's not versus spelled out. Correct.
We're suing each other over the spelling of the website.
That's right.
Okay.
But right now it's VS.
Okay,
We're going to
VS.
be in Madison, Wisconsin. We're going to be in Minneapolis. We're going to be in Chicago, where I went to school.
We're going to be in Burlington, Bernie's home state, which I almost created a major riot in. Manchester, New Hampshire, Portsmouth.
And Portsmouth.
Boston, Massachusetts, all the way down to D.C.
We're going to be in New York, Philly, D.C.
And I also do want to plug
Atlanta.
And
Killer Mike might be there if I'm lucky.
That's right. And I would say get the DVD box set of Different Strokes. Really great show.
Great. I want to plug Comedy Bang Bang TV show. We're filming right now. Weird Al, of course, my new band leader. We're having a ball, and that'll be out in the spring. And, a lot of people have been writing to me saying they've been getting the season 3 DVDs, and they're great. I just got a bunch delivered to me. We have hours and hours and hours of special features on there. Yes.
If I might.
Yes, you may.
Ask a question, if I could just interject.
You raised your hand first, and I called on you, and then you asked if you could raise
I don't know any other way to talk except raising my hand.
I see. Go ahead.
Do you have anything available on Betamax?
No, I know. It's a DVD is a little outdated of the format. But.
Well, no, it isn't. No, I'm saying
You're even worse.
I still try to watch things on Betamax. And
really?
I'm mostly limited to Muppet movies.
Can I screen your show on the body of a 17-year-old runaway?
I guess, if that's what you're into. All right, guys, that is it. We need to close up the old plug bag. Let's. The donor. Sorry, engineer.
I'm fine. I've been here in the plug bag.
Wait a minute, Jesse Ventura's here too.
Yeah, but look, I've come to accept it.
You're just in the.
It's the mother from Throw Mama from the train.
Look, I found a companion here in the plug bag.
What?
We settled down.
We've got to get these Goonies.
The woman from the Goonies is here too.
You can't make someone suffer for so long, and then they're going to eventually come to terms with it.
All right, I got to mention our donors, John McCabe and Dustin Engstrom. Thank you so much. $100 to Earwolf, something special coming out to you. Guys, I'm sorry, I have to close up the old plug bag. You guys are going to be trapped. Let's close it up.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Those Goonies.
Some plugs.
Gonna listen to some plugs. Gonna listen to some plugs. Gonna get my info out. Gonna get my jobs all talked about. Gonna listen to about it. Talk about my jobs. Some plugs. Gonna listen to some plugs.
All right, guys, that has been our show. I want to thank our guests. Thank you so much, Bernie and Trump.
Thank you, Senator Walkerman.
I'm not a senator yet.
Thank you, Secretary Walkerman.
Really? If you get elected?
Sure.
Okay. Secretary of what?
Secretary of Podcasting.
Okay, well, newly appointed. I love it. And Gilbert, thank you so much for being here. Big fan of you, of course, and I really appreciate you coming by to the studio here.
And I think the late Ron Palillo, who played Horseshack, was in fact a homosexual.
Okay, great. Some good Hollywood facts.
It's like the House of Un-American Sexual Activities Committee.
All right, guys, that's been our show. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Tremendous. That's good.